It's time for the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU, the official local sports show here in Glasgow and Barron County. And now, alongside John Butler, here is your host, James Brown.
Welcome back to the Brown Sports Bag this week. James Brown and John Butler. John, I should have had like some special music to bring us in if I guess I know how to do that, but if I really thought about those kinds of things, but like something like we could start with something along the lines of like a crescendo of something, because we spent the last 3 months talking about this day to some degree, just because this is how basketball works in the state of Kentucky, is that you play 30 games to get to the first round of the playoffs, or nearly 30 games to get to the first round of the playoffs, and you could do everything right all season long, and you can get to this night right here, or tomorrow night or Wednesday night, and just the whole thing for naught. You end up losing the game tonight, and that's it. It's a devastating situation. I'm sure you, as a former player and coach, maybe you didn't experience this night quite like that, though. What do you think?
No, there's a lot of pressure, especially if you had a good year. Now, listen, if you have not had a good year, then it's not near the pressure. But
yeah,
for teams that have had a good year and have aspirations to move on and to play in a region, to go to the state tournament, yeah, there's a heck of a lot of pressure and stress, because the first for most districts, not all districts are created equal.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd be surprised. There are. And it's one of the things the KHWA has got to fix. There's too many districts in some of these regions that only have 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And if you win your regular season district, you're in the region.
Yeah.
And that needs to be rectified a little bit. There needs to be at least 4 in each, and that puts a little bit more onus on that first round. And there is stress, there's pressure, there's all that stuff, but. That doesn't mean the regular season wasn't worth things. There's still a lot of you do. I think that's sometimes it's a little unfair sometimes, but it feels like that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of nervousness for a lot of people going into the tournament.
Yeah, for those who aren't aware of what today is, it's sort of 15th district tournaments tonight and the 18th district over at Caverna. The 15th district will be at Glasgow, and of course the first game right out the gate at 6 o'clock, or we'll have the broadcast on 103.1 and 104.7. 103.1 has Glasgow and 104.7 Barron. It's the first game of the girls' 15th district tournament, and it's Barron County versus Glasgow, and it's a showdown of rivals. In the last few years, Barron has been the high team on the totem pole between these two rivals, and Glasgow's kind of struggled the last 2 or 3 years in this matchup. Barron won both meetings during the regular season pretty handily. I will say the second meeting, Glasgow played pretty well, I thought, in the first half, and I think I said at the time, if they'd have played a lot of other games during the course of the season like they did in the first half of that game, they'd have won a few more than they had at that point, because they had lost some games because they got off to slow starts and never got out of them. But I guess if you look at it, if you're Barron County right now, what is the key to the Trojanettes winning tonight, John?
Well, let's first of all review. Barron's 27-2.
Yeah,
and they've won 15 in a row.
Yeah,
and I think if you want to be fair, if people need, if you just fair ranking of the best 20 teams in the state of Kentucky, they're in there.
Oh yeah.
They have not been under 55 points during the last 15 games too, so they can score.
Yeah, they've been hot.
Glasgow's 8-21, and they've had a better year this year than last year. They have improved on last year. They score it so much better.
Yeah,
but it's a really, really, really tall task to beat Barron. Did you ask me does Barron need to do, or what does Glasgow need to do?
What does Barron need to do? What are the keys to Barron's success tonight? And if you're coaching the Trojanettes, what are you looking to try to do?
For Barron, anytime that you're a heavy favorite going into a game, there's really only one way that you lose these type of games, and that's if the other team, the underdog, and Glasgow's a considerable underdog. Mm-hmm. They've lost 65-26 and 81-47
mm-hmm.
To those two 35, 40-point losses. The only real way, in my opinion, that Barron loses is Glasgow just makes a ton of threes.
Yeah.
Talking about double-digit threes.
Yeah.
12, 15 threes. That is the one equalizer. So if I'm Barron, you can't always guarantee, though Barron has just scored so well. Generally, oftentimes in these first-round games, there tends to be a little bit lower scoring, a little bit more nerves at times. That's my experience. Sometimes there's
that rim seems to be smaller a lot of times.
Sometimes it doesn't happen that way. If you're just dominant and can get steals and layups, then you get off to a good start. Then
right.
That's a big factor. Barron has to take away that. You take away the other team's threes.
Yeah.
Barron's, can really score, but really their calling card traditionally has been defensively. They've got such good size. They don't have any giants, but they're long and so forth. And Glasgow, it just does not have good size, and it's really difficult for Glasgow to shoot over Barron if Barron is out there pressuring and so forth. So, if I'm Barron, my number one key would be take away the threes. You just defend. That'd be number one, defend, rebound, take away threes. That'd be what do you talk about offense? That would be the way, in my opinion, to avoid the upset.
Well, and also if you aren't your threes, which Barron has been making a lot of lately, aren't going in, then I'm going to guess maybe during the course of the game, if that's the way it's working, maybe Coach Lindsay is telling her players, get to the rim, try to get some easy baskets, get to the foul line.
Well, if I'm Barron, I'm just saying I don't think if we guard well, I don't think Glasgow can score enough.
Right.
Now, from the Glasgow perspective, I think a key is that they have to start off well. Mm-hmm. The first game they did, and the second time they played at Glasgow they did, and they are playing on their home court, and I think Glasgow tends to shoot it better at home.
Yeah.
Glasgow needs to have a chance if they're going to pull off an upset going into the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. I don't see them coming back from 17 down or anything like that. So, it'd be nice, Barron shoots it so well for Glasgow to say, we want to cover their three-point shooters. I don't know if they can. I'll be honest
right.
with you. Sometimes you better hope they miss.
Yeah.
But Glasgow has to stay in the game. The difference in the second game last time was Glasgow had a terrible third quarter and they threw the ball away a lot.
Yeah.
So they got to really
can't give away those free
can't give away those
right?
live ball turnovers that lead to easy points and so forth. And Glasgow just has to hang around. Mm-hmm. And, the longer that an underdog hangs around, generally the tighter the favorite team gets.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of what Glasgow has to be thinking. Glasgow's, like I said, 8-21. They have scored better. I will say that. They scored better this year. And last year they had trouble sometimes getting 35, 40 points. But
right.
Reese England she's a quality three-point shooter, and, she's averaging double digits as an eighth grader. And Kayla Kirkpatrick I think she's bounced back and had a good year too. So they're just going to have to get some contributions from a lot of people and hang around. But listen, Barron is the prohibitive favorite, not just to win tonight, but to win the region.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a tremendous effort from somebody to knock them off. And it's going to be. Glasgow they got nothing to lose. You can look at it that way. And,
right.
And Glasgow's young, so, they don't have that, I'm a senior, I'm worried about this is my last game thing going on. You just go out there and play.
Yeah, I think they have two seniors, and Barron has 5, maybe 4, 5. There is an opportunity for Glasgow, no matter the outcome, to learn from this and come back and utilize it next season. But obviously that's not their objective. Before we even get to this Allen-Warren East matchup, second game tonight, let's talk about, you mentioned Barron being a top 20 team in the state, even though they've not been ranked all year, and prohibitive favorite to win the region. On Tuesday night, they proved they might be all of that.
Well, I think one of the reasons why they haven't been ranked is they have not been outside of probably Camelsville is the farthest north they've been. And they've been in Bowling Green and Logan, so they haven't been to the E-Town, the Owensboro, or the Lexington markets, to be honest with you.
Right.
They just haven't been there. Last Tuesday they knocked off a top 10 team in Taylor County, 665?
Yeah.
And if you just didn't know anything about basketball and you just went and watched the game and you didn't know who's ranked or whatever, Barron just controlled the game completely.
Yeah.
They were rarely, if ever, behind shot it again. Great. They were 12 of 25 from threes. Barron was, and Taylor's best player, Kennedy Diener, she ended up with 21, 22, but kind
she
of
had the quietest 22 of anybody.
Yeah, she struggled.
Like that.
She did, and with that's back-to-back year, Barron has beaten Taylor. They beat them last year at Taylor too, and Taylor doesn't have any dominant size. They don't have a 6'1", 6'2" interior presence, and they don't have dominant quickness. They got a really good guard, but Barron has good defenders, and Barron just outshot them. And if you go, well, they beat them that time. Well, they beat them 2 straight. And I'm just telling you, if you just watch the 2 teams play, it's probably 50-50. If Diener has a great game, then I can see Taylor winning. But, and Taylor went on. They oddly played last week Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which I think it's strange.
They played a very busy last couple of weeks of the season.
They did. They played a very busy last couple of weeks, and they came back and won the next day. And then they lost, strangely, to a John Harden team who's very mediocre in the 5th region. So sometimes, I've had a lot of good teams lose the last couple games of the season and bounce back and win regions, and maybe that's what Taylor needs or whatever, but Barron sure played well.
There were a couple of things that I thought were pretty interesting about the game, and there were a couple of players that I thought had impacts on the game that maybe people didn't. I mean, one of them, yes, the other one maybe not. I thought Hannah Bragg had a big impact on the game because you mentioned the size deficit. I think she had a couple of blocks and contested shots and things that Taylor likes to do. She kind of caused them to have problems with getting to the rim.
I agree.
And then I thought Addie Slagle had a great game.
She was great. Bird had 21, and Burton had 13, and they both played well too. But I thought Slagle was great. I mean, her point guard play, she is so much better this year than she has been that was last year. Last year she just more came off the bench as more of a shooter. She's the point guard. Her and Burton kind of share it, but her ability to penetrate and kick it and find open shooters, whether it's Shelby, whether it's McFall, whether it's Burton, and they're not easy kicks. She makes some big time plays, and I think she's really, really improved.
And I also thought whenever Taylor was trying to run the trap, she's a tough one to trap because she's not very big, but she's real quick with the ball. And I thought,
well, unless you have size, Barron's hard to trap.
Yeah,
you got to have size. And Taylor does not have a lot of size. They don't have a ton of quickness outside of Diener. And Barron starts 4 guards, so that they're not easy to turn them over, which is another reason why they're probably a top 20 team. I don't think probably they are a top 20 team. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the Allen County Warren East matchup. Obviously, Allen County is the favorite in the game. I mean, they won both games during the regular season. I think they won 65-34 and 71-47, I think, was the score.
Yeah,
of the
2
games.
blowouts. That's correct.
And I think the thing about Allen is they have by far the 2 best players in the game with Avery Morris and Patrick on the inside. East has a couple of players, especially maybe like Wardlow, I think, who can cause people problems. But then again, on the defensive side, I don't know how they defend Allen. But if you are coaching Allen, I mean, what do you think the key is to success in this game, especially since they won the other 2 games so handily?
Well, this game would worry me, I'll be honest with you. Warren East is not so bad that they can't play with Allen.
Yeah.
Warren East lost a lot of players, obviously, from last year. They had a ton of seniors, but they're not what would worry me if I'm Allen is facing junk.
Yeah.
Triangle and twos.
Yeah, because you figure they're going to run everything at Avery Morris, don't
you would think. That's exactly right. But Allen has played really well this year, and they've played really well down the stretch. And Allen, like Barron, can score.
Yeah.
They do it differently. They kind of more rely on just 2 players. Mm-hmm. Morris is 29 a game, and Patrick is the post player on the inside who can score as well. So they do it differently. And Allen, I think the concern I'd have for Allen is if those 2 aren't scoring, because they're not necessarily a really good defensive team.
No.
I do have a lot of confidence in Gary DeWitt. He's a really good tournament coach. He'll have them ready to go. They will not overlook Warren East to get to the finals. I know that will not be. And I know Gary and I know his assistants. They have since they've known they've been playing Warren East. They've scouted them. They've been there. They go old school. They actually go watch teams rather than just watch them on film. So they'll be ready to play.
Yeah.
And I think I do think Allen's going to win. It may be a little closer than some of these blowouts, but I do think that Allen will win.
Now, if you're Warren East, I mean, what are you trying to do? And you mentioned probably going to throw some junk at him and just try to take Avery Morris out of the offense as best you can, right?
As best you can. That's exactly right. And hope you make some shots, but I do think there's some things you can try to go after them with that. They don't match up real well with Patrick because they don't have a lot of size.
They don't have any
and so
size
forth.
whatsoever.
But, I mean, they got nothing to lose. This was kind of it was kind of the expected year that East has had. When he lost all those players who have played for 2 or 3 years too.
Right.
So this was kind of the expected deal. There's not a lot of pressure. I think they've probably had some pressure the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Not a lot of pressure on this one. Come over here and see what happens.
Well, I like I said, I think they don't have size. Well, they have a couple of big kids, but they don't really. They end up having to use Wardlow, I think, a lot to try to defend inside just because of her athletic ability. And then she's kind of the only player they have who can really beat people off the dribble or beat people down the court.
Yeah.
Everybody else, Allen doesn't have to worry about them getting runs on them. And I'm just curious. I guess if you're Warren East, you want that game maybe even want the game to be in the 30s. You might want to keep it as low scoring as possible.
Yeah,
don't you?
the more points scored, the better off Allen is. They strive in that type of game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I guess last night the 16th district got started.
No surprise, Russell County beat Clinton.
Yeah, Clinton was by far the 5th team, the lowest team in that district.
Yeah.
When you kind of look ahead to even though we've not even gotten this going yet, the girls' region will start on Sunday,
right.
March 1st.
Yeah.
We'll have the draw on Friday morning, I believe, and so by the time we're back on this show, we won't even. The region will already played a couple of games by the time we're back on the show.
Some local teams may have already been playing. Well,
Yeah.
one of them is.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Barron and Glasgow's are going to be playing maybe Sunday or Monday.
Right. So when you kind of look at the region, I mean, you've already mentioned the Barron's a favorite.
Yes.
And I think they're the favorite for a couple of reasons. One is they've got good players. The other is I think it's panned out through the course of the season that in this region they are able to continually put people on the floor who can play basketball. Either size, guards, just the general ability to do that. Nobody else, I think, in the region has 7 players that they can put on the floor that I would trust to go out there and not be a liability.
Yeah,
from what I've seen this year.
They've got multiple players that can shoot it, handle the ball.
Yeah,
knows how to play. No question about it.
And so that's why it makes them the favorite. But is there any other team that during the course of the season you look at and you say they might be able to be a problem?
Well, I think Bowling Green is going to be there.
Yeah,
and they have played better down the stretch.
Yeah.
And they do have size, which nobody else has, really.
Right.
They do have size. They just don't score. And I just don't know if they can score enough points to beat Barron. But I do know their coach is good, and they'll have a game plan and things like that. If they two ever have to play each other, you can trust that Bowling Green's going to be there. They play Warren Central first round. They're not losing to Warren Central.
Yeah.
Franklin Simpsons has 2 dynamic players in the 2 transfers.
Yep.
Both from Tennessee, different schools, Pennington and Carrington, I believe.
Yeah.
And they've already beat Barron once. And Barron returned the favor and blew them out the second time. So, if they do, if Barron gets there and has to play them again, well, we'll see how it comes out. And then, if Allen wins, I think Allen is good enough to go on a road that they can be dangerous too because of the 2 players and they can score.
Yeah.
Out of the 16th district, I think Cumberland County is the best team. They stumbled at the end. I don't put a lot of credit in the last week of the season. They lost to Greene County their last game, but I do think they're good enough, and they won they played pretty well last year in the region.
Yeah.
They have experience. I do think they're good enough to knock off some teams. Whether or not they can, first of all, they got to get out of their district.
Right.
Which is they got to beat Russell County, and that district is crazy. I mean, it is a crazy, crazy district.
Yeah,
the teams know each other so much. It's just they're not a lock to get out of their district. If they can get out of the district, I think they can win some games in the region.
Yeah.
But saying all that, if Barron wins tonight against Glasgow, they will be a very difficult team to beat. Yeah. Not impossible. I mean, anything can happen. But they will. I think all around they have the best team. It doesn't always guarantee you anything, but they've had a fabulous year.
Yep.
27-2. It's pretty good.
Yep. All right, it's the Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. When we come back, we'll talk about the boys' 15th district.
Welcome home to local sports with James Brown and the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU.
The boys' 15th district tournament. This is James Brown, Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. Here with John Butler begins Tuesday. And it'll be Glasgow against Warren East. And then on Wednesday, it's Barron County against Allen County. And we're going to talk about the boys' 18th district tournament and a game Caverna played Friday night at St. X that should have left people pretty impressed. We'll get to that here in a bit. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about all region teams and whatnot. But back to this Glasgow versus Warren East on Tuesday night. Warren East has won one game this year, John, I think it is.
Yeah, Warren East is, I think they are 1-25.
Yeah.
And they beat Fort Campbell back in
The Stone Ages.
Or early January, yeah.
But anyway, Glasgow has manhandled them pretty much in both games. There was a stretch that I thought Glasgow might be in danger, not necessarily of losing that game, but it could be closer than expected. But Glasgow's defense has been pretty good ever since that little stretch where they didn't play well right after the ice capades. And to me, it would take something catastrophic probably for Glasgow to lose that game. But from the coaching perspective, what does Glasgow have to do? What is the key to Glasgow being successful tomorrow night?
Same as Barron girls, just defend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glasgow 16-12, they won 4 straight. It would take a monumental collapse to lose to Warren East. Warren East is 1-25, and not only they 1-25, they hadn't been competitive.
Yeah.
For the most part, very few games under 10.
Mm-hmm.
And they've lost to Glasgow 76-39, 82-54.
Yeah.
And Glasgow just too good when they lock down and guard people. They're just too good defensively. I mean, when you're talking about Martin and Bradley and some of those guys, they can really
Jeremiah Moore. Yeah.
They can. And Minton has size. They can guard people.
Yeah.
And sometimes Glasgow offensively can struggle a little bit, though they're much better this year than last year. But defensively, that's their calling card. If they really, really want to guard you, I don't see how East can. They got a chance because if you play the game and keep score, you always have a chance. But it would be a monumental upset. Glasgow ended the season with that big win at LaRue, and then they won 3 last week against Russellville, Cumberland, and Franklin. Kind of mediocre teams, but they did what they're supposed to. They got 3 wins and got the big win against LaRue.
Yeah, 2 of them on the road.
Yeah, and I just I can't not see Glasgow losing.
I think the one thing about Warren East is that they do have some guys who can shoot. It's just that they struggle to, get the ball in position to shoot. They seem to turn the ball over quite a bit. Their ball handling suspect. But I would guess if you're Warren East, like you said, you might want to keep the game close, but hopefully if you're them, you need to cut down on your turnovers and definitely make threes.
Yeah, make threes. No, you can't say that. If you're Warren East, you can't go into your locker room and go, we got to make a lot of threes. You never say stuff like that. You hope you're going to make threes.
Yeah.
But you can talk about defense and rebounding and, turnovers to protect the ball. But, hoping to make threes, it's something that you want. All you can do is get good shots. But, again, Warren East is I've said this earlier when talking about Glasgow girls. So Glasgow girls are much better relatively than Warren East boys.
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose when you're 1-25, and basically you're starting all sophomores.
Yeah.
And you feel bad for Warren East. Warren East's best player 2 years ago is Player of the Year in the region now.
Right.
He's
Caleb Prince,
at Allen County. He was voted.
Kyler Pettigo, that's right.
Player of the Year, and
him and Caleb Prince is at Warren Central,
guards,
right?
That's right. One's at Allen, and one's a starting guard at Warren Central. So it's. You feel bad for Warren East in a lot of ways. If you had those 2 kids, I doubt they'd be the 4th seed.
You're right. I mean, because obviously those are 2 pretty good players.
Yep.
And they'd have ball handlers, which is what they're struggling with these young guards is ball handling.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Barron County plays Allen, and honestly, John, I know that Barron won at home against Allen on December 15th on a last-second shot, 156-55. I'd forgotten that game was that close. And then they, of course, lost to Allen on February 7th in a game that was rescheduled maybe 3 times, 56-50, and Allen shot twice as many free throws, I think, in the game than Barron did. But I guess going in, I still feel like Barron's the better team, even though they ended up being the 3 seed, just because I think they have more depth than Allen County. But maybe I'm wrong. What do you think, John?
Well, both teams match up well. I mean, the Barron's win was a 3-pointer by West Shelton with like 8 seconds to go to put them up 1. They were down 2.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were down 1. I can't remember what the final
I think they
score
were down 2. It was
Okay.
56-55, I think was the final.
And that was the game winner, and Allen didn't even get a shot off at the end. They
Right.
fumbled away. And then at Allen a few weeks ago, the game was real close. I think Allen outscored Barron like 14-5 in the last quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So this game can go either way. You know, Barron's played well lately. They're 17-12, and what I like about Barron is that Barron's problems at times this year is scoring. Well, they beat Greenwood, one of the top 5 teams in the region, on Monday, 67-64. They lost to a top 5 team in the 5th, and Taylor 69-67. So
Yeah.
and then he went to Russell and put up 75 points in a 75-72 win. So they are scoring, and I think when Barron sometimes struggles is they don't score. And right now, Barron's guards are playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Hardy, he had the game winner against Greenwood. He had 26, including the game winner. Shelton had 28 against Taylor. Griggs, who has been kind of quiet lately, had 21 against Russell County. So,
Yeah.
So Barron is really, really shooting it well. And then you got Kyle Pettigo for Allen, their point guard, who's had an outstanding year for Allen. So this is a game, and even though Allen is 11-16 and they've lost 6 straight, their last win was
they've not
against
won
Barron.
since
Yeah, they were
Barron, yeah.
11-10 after the Barron win, and they lost 6 straight. And you go, well, they're in a bad run. Well, they've lost to Warren Central, Greenwood, Bowling Green, South Warren, and Clinton County were 5 of them.
Yeah.
The one that you probably think that Allen probably should have won, maybe Russellville.
Yeah.
So they played a good, a really good schedule down the stretch. They obviously don't fear Barron because they match up so well. So this is one of the better first-round games in the region. You can take Warren Central, Bowling Green, and South Warren and Greenwood are 2 good ones. This is going to be a good one too. Both teams know each other so well. And, it's a game that, Barron has to against Allen, you got to really, really be strong with the ball. Allen's very, very physical. And I thought that affected Barron's play the second time. So you got to be able to really finish in the back, inside. You got to play through contact in case there's not a lot of calls, because Allen has really been physical with Barron's guards and even inside and so forth. And you obviously can't let Pettigo get 30.
Right.
I mean, those things. But Coach Cunningham has done this a long time. He's from Allen. He knows the personnel. And it's just going to come down to, a few. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to a play here, a stop here, a rebound here, there, and we'll see what happens. I think the way Barron is playing, I don't really put a lot in that Allen's lost 6 straight. I don't put a lot into that. I put more into I like how Barron's playing right now.
You mentioned the being more physical aspect of things since the Allen game, and the guards have played well. But part of what I think has happened is that Jackson Bird, Carson Browning, Gavin Nunn, Cameron Pippin, even though he didn't play in the Russell County game, mainly those first 3 I mentioned have played a lot better inside in terms of getting rebounds, getting rebound position, and being strong with the ball, because I feel like that's kind of been a big key too, even though they just don't show up in the stat box nearly as much as the guards, because now the guards are maybe not having to help out with the rebounding, and because your inside guys are just doing a better job on the boards, John.
Well, you're getting more shots if you rebound.
Yeah.
That's
math.
Yeah, it's just math. If you get more rebounds, you're going to get more shots, whether it's offensive rebounds, which leads to second shots, or defensive rebounds, which takes away another shot from your opponent. So you're going to get more shots, and all those things are going to, it's going to come down to all those things. You got some, you mentioned how good Pettigo is. He's had a big year, but Cade Hardy and Wes Shelton are playing really well too. Barron's, two of Barron's guards too. So I think it's generally a low-scoring game your first round, and generally Allen and Barron will probably be low-scoring. You have to value possessions, and maybe who gets that last little run may be the difference. We'll see. I wouldn't want to fall way behind either team.
I think the commonality of those two games that they've played so far this year is Allen got the runs in the fourth quarter, because I think Barron had a lead going into the fourth quarter in both of those games and struggled down the stretch. They won one of them and lost one of them. And maybe that's the deal, is that Pettigo's been good in the fourth quarter, and then Barron's kind of struggled a little bit dealing with him. So maybe that's one of the keys, too, is they can't let him get going, late in the game. They got to figure out some way to deal with that. I think it'll be an interesting matchup. I'm with you. Let's talk a little bit about the Caverna game at St. X on Friday night. I watched that. The St. X people broadcast that. St. X has been number 1, number 2, number 3 all season long in the statewide polls. And the Colonels went up there playing without one of their players who's out with an injury, and hopefully he'll be back at least by the district championship game if they get there on Saturday night. And I will tell you this, John, I was impressed with the way the Colonels played in that game. And I thought Jalen Crane was a good guard. I don't know, man. There can't be many guards that are better than him in the state of Kentucky.
Well, it's impressive going up there and playing St. X. I watched some of that video, too, on their senior night, too.
Yeah.
At St. X, and losing by, what, 3?
2? 56-54, I think is what it was.
Yeah, and the game was that close.
Yeah.
Nobody had a big lead or anything like that. So that was a really good performance, because St. X is one of the favorites. Now, listen, St. X may not get out of the region.
Yeah, this might be the toughest region in the state.
It is the tougher region.
Yeah.
That and 11th, probably.
Yeah.
So, St. X, possibly they can't even get out of that region. So you never know.
Somebody's disputing what you just said.
I forgot to turn my phone off. But anyway, to go up there and play with them, and if you just watch the game, Caverna matches up. This is not a Caverna, and there is nothing similar about the two schools, right?
No.
St. X,
couldn't be more different.
all-boy private school in Louisville.
Got 2,000 students, I think.
2,000, beautiful gym, private school, and all that stuff. And Caverna, one of the smaller schools in the state, a public school and so forth.
Yeah.
You would never even put those two teams together.
Going in, I was hoping Caverna didn't get beat by 20. That was what I was thinking.
Well, they didn't. They passed that test.
Yeah, they did.
And Caverna proved that they fit with the best teams in the state. Now, can they get out of the region? We'll see. I think they'll get out of the district. I don't think they're going to lose to Hart. But, the 5th region's got good players and good teams. North Hardin is really, really good with that new player. So, but that was an impressive performance, even though they lost.
Well, and another one of the teams that they're supposed to be one of their competitors in the 5th region, Adair County, they beat them pretty soundly to start the week. So they are proving that they are a team to be dealt with. They opened their tournament Tuesday night against Hart County, their rivals. Like I said, Jason Graves, he's the 6'8" kid. He did not play in the game at St. X, and as I understand it right now, he won't be playing tomorrow night. And their girls opened their tournament tonight against Greene County at 6 o'clock. Those games are at Caverna. Real quick on the all-region teams, something you wanted to bring to people's attention, John.
Well, we had, this past week, the all-region teams were announced, and you had two different things going on. You had the it was the Player of the Year for Mist and Mr. Basketball.
Yeah, that's the Kentucky Association of Basketball Coaches.
Those are only for seniors. For people who sometimes they'll look and go, that person's not the Player of the Year. It's only for seniors for one thing, and that was for the girls is Deborah Patrick from Allen County, and the boys it was now I've gone blank.
I don't remember, actually.
That's embarrassing. Because now I've gone blank who was the player. It was Pettigo.
Yeah, okay, it was.
Right, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know he was a co-player of the year with Isaiah Summers on the coaches poll, like just the regional poll.
Okay, well,
maybe it was Pettigo. I don't remember, honestly,
I've gone blank now. But anyway, so that's only for seniors. And then there's all-region first, second, and third teams, boys and girls, that coaches cannot vote for their own players.
Yeah, now that's the Coaches Association in the 4th region.
That's correct. And I know Shelby Bird was on the first team.
Yep. Addie Slagle was on the third team. Piper Lindsay was the coach of the year on the girls' side.
Very well deserved. And
Will McCoy was the coach of the year on the boys' side. And then Cade Hardy was on the first team, Jalen Bradley on the second team, and Jarek Martin on the third team on that side.
That's correct. But the point I was trying to make, too, is that sometimes coaches take a lot of grief over this. It's the last thing that coaches want you're very uncomfortable, but you can't vote for your own players. I just
Right.
want everybody to know that, So I've taken a lot of heat in the past when I was coaching from parents at times who got mad about why wasn't my kid on there or blah, blah, blah. And I go, I don't have anything to do with it.
I know.
Can't vote for them. I cannot do that. And sometimes coaches kind of take some heat over that, which is, frustrating at times, but it is what it is. And
you want your players to be recognized,
You do.
but you're getting ready to go into the postseason, and it's the last thing you want to fool with.
that's exactly right.
That's
right.
it's a thankless thing.
It
You
is.
want your players, like I said, it's not you're shading your players or
No,
whatever.
no, because there's just top 15 players in the girls is Burton has played as good as anybody down the stretch too.
Yeah.
So
Right.
but you can't vote for your own, so that's just part of it. But congratulations to Piper, Coach of the Year. It's a great honor, very
Yeah.
well deserved, and for just did want to throw that out there though.
All right. Well, this is Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. We'll be right back.
This is the Brown Sports Bag with James Brown on WCLU.
This is James Brown, John Butler, presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. It's Brown Sports Bag every Monday at 4 p.m. here on WCLU. John, we actually had kind of a wild week of men's college basketball before it was all said and done because we had people. I did decide something
Okay.
after last week because we talked about the teams that we thought were playing well and were pretty good and et cetera, et cetera. And Houston lost, Michigan lost.
I'll take them. They're both being a Final Four.
It will be, but I thought it was ironic we were discussing them and then they both took some losses last week.
Let's be fair. Michigan lost to Duke.
That's true, which is now number one.
That's right. So in a close
Anyway,
game.
I didn't say the quality of loss
That's
is bad.
right.
I just said we talked about them and they
Yeah, I
lost.
think Houston lost to Arizona.
Yeah, they lost to two top 10 teams.
That's right.
As well.
So no, it's not like they're losing to Podunk.
No, yeah, they lost to Arizona and Iowa State, who are now 2 and 3, I think, in the polls.
That's
So-
right. That's right. So, yeah, that's
John, I had a narrative going now. You ruined it.
okay.
You ruined it.
I have not lost confidence in either team. I'll be honest with you.
That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, Duke. There are two lost teams now. Duke, Arizona, and Michigan. They are numbers 1, 2, and 3, and I think Iowa State's at 4, and they have 4 losses. And Houston is at 5, and I think they have 4 losses.
No, I think you still have that MAC team that's undefeated unless they've lost.
They don't register. Who is that?
There was a MAC team that was undefeated.
Anyways,
Yeah, I can't remember which one it
that's
was.
one of those one bid leagues, isn't it?
Probably.
Probably.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I would love for one of those one bid leagues someday to put up a team that actually wins a national title. It would be
Speaking of the
great.
MAC,
Yes.
boy, this is technically maybe our radio is good when I go off script, so I'm going to go off script.
Okay.
The MAC, do you see what they've done?
No.
They've allowed Sacramento State to come in
Yes,
football.
I saw that. I
With
saw that.
this caveat, Sacramento State has to pay $18 million to join.
Man,
Okay, and they
yeah.
get no TV radio. They get no TV income from the MAC or anything, and they pay the expenses of all the MAC teams that come out to play them, football only.
Goodness.
So they pay $18 million plus they pay the expenses of the teams that travel out there, and they get no income from the MAC.
Sacramento State has been hunting for a league to join in
They got
Division I
one.
football for a while.
That's right.
And I guess Mac looked at it and said, well, if you got the money, we'll take you.
That's right.
And I guess
and it's
Sacramento
only
State-
for 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's just a 5-year deal, and after that, they're out.
Now, as I recall, and I can't remember which football player it is because in my mind I'm thinking it's Marshawn Lynch, but it might not be. There is a football player, former NFL football player or group that is basically funding this Sacramento State push.
Probably. Only football, and I love football, but only the NCAA and football do you do something that stupid.
Yeah, that is
That just-
nonsense and on every level.
I agree.
So the
So back
MAC,
to- yeah.
the MAC won't let WKU join without Middle Tennessee, but they'll let Sacramento State just drop in as long as they'll pony up $18 million.
And pay for the MAC
Travel expenses and all that. Maybe WKU is just like, you know what, we just can't spend that kind of money.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it though? All right, back to this college basketball business.
Yeah, college basketball. There's only like 4 games left, 4
Yeah.
or 5 games left. You know, the conference tournament will be starting in a couple weeks.
Yeah. You know, in Louisville, they managed to hang on to number 24, even though they lost to SMU.
Yeah, it's
and
not very good.
and beat Georgia Tech 87-70.
Got a big game tonight. They got at North Carolina.
Yeah.
They kind of need a marquee win, to be honest with you.
That's whenever you says Joe Lunardi, like ins and outs,
Yeah.
and they've got that. You've got to have that bracket 1 win or Pier 1 win or whatever it is.
They've got some of those wins, but it's been a while. And
Yeah.
they're firmly in the tournament. Don't get me wrong, but they just need a good win. A good road win would really help.
Yeah. They're scraping by maybe in a 6-7 seed area at the moment. Maybe they could get up to a 4 if they go and
I
win
think
at
they're
North
probably
Carolina.
in that 4 to 5 range.
You
They're
think
top,
so?
Yeah, top 25.
Yeah, that's true.
And Kentucky, they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
The big loss was the home loss to Georgia.
Yeah.
That was a bad loss. And then they went to Auburn, and Auburn had lost 5 or 6 in a row, but Auburn's not bad at home, and that's a tough loss because they got a bad call at the end. They got a bad call on when they was up 1 with like 15 seconds left, and trying to inbounds, trying to get the ball down the court, and they called a foul on Chandler pushing off, just trying to get open.
Yeah.
It was a clear flop, but should have been a no call at best, and they called it. But did it cost them the game? It didn't, because Auburn had to take it out and had to score, and they missed a shot, and Kentucky didn't rebound, and they tapped it in. So you can't say it cost them, but it's a terrible call. Terrible call.
It put them in a position to lose the game.
It did. Terrible call.
They still could have made a play to win the game,
That's
and
correct.
they didn't do that either.
But a bad call, for
Yeah.
sure. And they've lost 3 straight. Now they're back on that little slide they're on.
Yeah. They are just an up-and-down team. I mean, and maybe they have an injury reason. Maybe they don't. I mean,
They've got injuries. Yep.
Louisville slide, they had a key injury reason. But
he's back.
Yeah, but Kentucky, their inconsistency, even with or without injuries, has been kind of an amazing thing all year. Because they've won some games that they probably should have lost, and then they turn around and lose some games that they should have won.
Right. Yeah, they're in the tournament, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, and they could do well in the tournament. You never know with Kentucky. I mean,
Right.
they've got some good players for sure, but it's been a strange year.
Yeah. Meanwhile, WKU's on a heater. They've won 4 in a row and beat Liberty at Liberty
They
by
really have.
21. That was a heck of a game, John.
Yeah, the return of their best player, now I've gone blank, Carson. No, it's Moore, last name, Tegan Moore.
Yeah.
Tegan Moore has been a huge difference maker for them. And they're playing much better. Good to see that. They've won 4 in a row. The women have won 2 straight. Mm-hmm. That kind of, they had lost 8 in a row, I think, and they got a big win over their rival against Middle on Saturday. So better performance by both the men and women at WKU, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, WKU's in that was actually the first conference loss for Liberty. They're 15-1 in the conference. They were 15-0
at Liberty,
14-0, I think, before they played that game
at Liberty too.
Yeah, at Liberty, and I mean, it wasn't like they beat them barely. They manhandled Liberty.
Beat them like 19, didn't they?
Yeah, it was 21, 94-73.
Okay,
and then of course they won at Delaware, 88-87 in overtime. So another quality win for them there on the road.
And they got out before the snow.
Yeah, they escaped.
They escaped.
Yeah, boy, wouldn't you love to be living in New York right now?
That's where the women got to go. They got to go to Delaware and Liberty.
Oh, this trip here?
I don't know how they get there right now. But yep.
Snowmobile. Anything else in the college basketball realm that struck you of late?
No, it's just like you mentioned, it's getting close. I think they draw for the postseason 3 weeks. March Madness, I think it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks is the selection show.
Yeah, and I think,
of course, 3 weeks will be at the state tournament too.
That's right. Hopefully.
No, I mean the state tournament starts 3 weeks. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Hopefully we have 2 teams at the state tournament this year, at least. State tournaments. Let's talk about the Olympics. We're not going to break off for a 4th segment. We're just going to close it out here on this last little bit. 2 hockey wins for the United States. The men won the gold medal for the first time since the dramatic win in 1980.
Lake Placid.
At Lake Placid. And, over the Soviet Union at the time. It's been immortalized in movies and documentaries and everything. I don't need to tell you anymore. You can go watch it or read about it. But heck of a game, though. I mean, it's 1-1, and then they go to the overtime, which is a golden goal. And it's just back and forth and back and forth.
It's 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Just a quick pace, and there was like a shot here and a shot there. I thought, oh, that's it right there. Great save. I think one of the goals by the U.S. goalie. And then the shot that went in was, I don't know. I didn't even see the puck. I mean, I don't know how the goalie could have seen it. It whistled in there.
Well, I mean, if you watch the game, and I'm in no way a hockey expert, but though I do watch some of the hockey playoffs, and I like the hockey Olympics. I really like that. But if you kind of watch the game, I think most people would be in agreement that Canada actually probably outplayed the United States. In fact, they
twice as many shots.
Twice as many shots, and I really watched. I was gone, but I watched the last quarter, and then the overtime, the last period. I'm sorry, and then overtime, and Canada just kind of dominated the play.
Yeah.
And the United States was lucky to hang on. They took a 1-0 lead, and then Canada tied it 1-1 in the second period, I think, and then it was just like a barrage of shots on goal that the United States goalie had to basically hold off and to get to overtime. But in overtime, when you play 3-on-3 those games not going to last long.
No,
I mean, and it was over within 2 minutes. And it was just, from a basketball perspective, it's a 2-on-1.
Yeah.
And the United States guy gave the ball up at perfect spot, and it was a great shot by the U.S. guy. I forgot. Now I've gone blank. Forgot his name. He's got a
we
brother.
Can just call him Toothless.
He's got a brother. He's got a brother that also plays. So,
yeah.
It's just a huge win. I mean, Canada is known as the best hockey team in the world for the last so many years, and it's a great rivalry between the two. It's glad to play them Canada in the finals rather than the semifinals. Some of those games have been in the semifinals.
Yeah,
but I mean, it was so cool. It's great to see. With basketball, you sometimes you have to beg the NBA players to play in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Baseball, there's just no such thing. You can't even get them to do it because their union won't even allow them. Basically, you have this World League beforehand, but none of the good players play really.
Yeah.
But hockey, they write them in their contracts. The players want to play, and you could tell.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just great. And then the women's game was equally as good. Overtime.
Mm-hmm.
The United States had to score with a minute left to send it to overtime, and then scored in overtime. And that is their career. Really.
Yes.
There is a women's hockey league, but very few people follow it.
That's their one shining moment.
That is their one shining moment. And they were, the two best hockey teams are the United States and Canada, mm-hmm. and both men and women, and just two great wins for the United States. But got to give Canada a lot of credit, too. They are such a classy nation at times, too. They win with class. It's hard. It's like going against your brother or your sister.
Right.
I can't really root against them.
Yeah.
Because I like the Canadians and so forth, but still, just a lot of pride, when you see your country win that way. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, before we get out of here, I just want to remind you folks, you can stick around on 104.7 and listen to the Barron County call of the Barron County Glasgow game in the first round of the 15th district tonight. Or you can listen to 103.1 and listen to the Glasgow call of the Barron County Glasgow game or Glasgow Barron County game tonight in the first round of the girls' district. And we'll have district coverage all week. And then starting on Sunday, we'll have regional coverage all week, or 2 weeks basically. So this is Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. James Brown, John Butler. We'll be back again next week.
You've been listening to the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU. Be sure to join James and John again next Monday at 4 for another edition of the Brown Sports Bag.